Believe me, I had no choice.
Haha, take that, kid. I'm pretty sure you didn't kill anyone, but I'm gonna kick you anyway because you're carrying a bucket of ashes and it'll make for a really cool shot when you drop it.
Someone just murdered a member of the royal family. This scene is showing the White Cloaks, along with members of the household guard, rounding up suspects and people who could have stopped the assassination. I mean, sure, I shouldn't expect a guy who struggles to understand kids shows to comprehend this, but it's still frustrating.
The villain will be found.
Or conjured for political gain. You know, whichever comes first.
And why is this a sin? Are you suggesting that doing things for political gain doesn't happen? What the hell is this nonsense?
Where were the members of this council while the murderer threatened their king?
Were you also threatened to, Grace?
I could have been!
Look, mourning fathers are not supposed to be this funny, right? I mean, his son was just killed in his bed, and I'm over here laughing because he's in a rage as if someone's hiding all of his socks.
That fake-ass laugh. Also, what are you talking about? This sin is evidence that the TVSins writers are literally delusional. The actor is doing a fantastic job, but they're pretending his grief and rage aren't enough?
The man we apprehended is known to us. He's a gold cloak, noted for his brutal nature.
Oh, so when Larys said earlier that all the traitors were no longer breathing our air, what he actually meant was everyone except for this hulking dude with his well-known Hightower distaste and brutal nature.
Larys didn't know that he was a traitor yet. Discount Jeremy actually thinks that Larys is omniscient. This kind of stupidity is exactly what makes these videos such a slog to get through.
We do well to ascertain if this is your sister's hand.
Oh, I totally forgot Rhaenyra was Aegon's sister. There the Targaryen family tree goes again, looking like a shrub caught in a garbage disposal.
That fake-ass laugh. Also, are you going to bother explaining why this is a sin? No? Okay then.
It could be any one of you in this room.
Briefly teasing us with House of the Dragon does Clue.
Discount Jeremy makes a pop culture ref.
Harris will do more for us now than 1,000 knights in battle.
1,000 knights in battle? This point I take half a dozen toddlers with foam noodles in battle just to give me something exciting to latch onto.
Me like big men hit other big men with sword. Me no like words. Words too hard.
Helena, what you saw last night when you came to my room.
Can you please stop talking about your mediocre sex for 10 minutes? We took a poll and not a single living soul cares about your ride on the coal pole.
Thinking that a poll of TVSins fans counts for anything. People who are still subscribed to TVSins after their repeated lying, stupidity, and cringe can't be taken seriously.
I was hired by Daemon Targaryen.
He folded so fast. Is he seriously expecting his honesty to be rewarded? Look, guys, I know I technically did the beheading and all, but Daemon paid me to do it, so, we cool?
That fake-ass laugh. Also, he was hoping for more merciful treatment. Nobody is suggesting that this guy is intelligent, and he's also extremely desperate right now, so doing something like this makes total sense.
It hurt me.
Ask the man who just pulled off one of the most heinous acts imaginable. How can he be this naive? Harris didn't do anything wrong to you or your family, and look how he ended up. And somehow you're questioning whether or not they're going to punish you for that actual crime you committed?
Again, this guy has been shown to not be the most intelligent dude in Westeros, not to mention the fact that he's emotionally and physically beat, as well as desperate. People say and do stupid things in dire circumstances. That's not a mistake of the episode.
Aegon pulls a reverse Infinity War and immediately goes for the head. I'm not saying I want to see this man tortured, but I am shocked Aegon decided to end this so quickly instead of having even 2 minutes of fun first.
Discount Jeremy makes a pop culture. Also, Aegon is beyond upset. All he wants to do is get revenge. He's way too emotional to stop and think about what's going to hurt his son's killer the most. The next 2 sins in a row are a combination of Discount Jeremy asking irrelevant questions and then doubling down on his idiocy.
Oh, would you look at that. The carriage is conveniently stuck in the middle of all these inconvenient people for maximum anxiety inducement. Either these potholes have a beautiful sense of dramatic timing, or this scene is missing Otto Hightower snickering off screen with his faithful pal Muttley.
He randomly calls it convenient without justifying that analysis. King's Landing is a city with a large population and a lot of traffic on foot, in carriages, and on horseback. Potholes existing is not unrealistic whatsoever, so calling it convenient is pretty stupid.
Having lost my own son, that I would inflict such a thing on Helena of all people.
Rhaenyra, having an issue with killing sons, does rather make me wonder how she intends to dethrone Aegon, who checks notes, yes, is in fact a son.
She's very obviously referring to young sons, and I think you knew that. You're delving into semantics while ignoring the actual information that Rhaenyra was getting across, which is dishonest.
I'm not on my way even now to Harrenhal to raise an army in your name, Rhaenyra. Yours!
While the next lover spat plays into its 3rd minute, I'll remind everyone that we were promised dragons in this house.
Me like big fire burn men. Me no like character. Me no like talking. Me only like sword and fire.
You ever notice how often they're just looking at random shit in this show? Do they not think I can make fun?
Skip.
Standing, guarding, waiting, excitement.
Why do you guys think that excitement is the only good thing a TV show can evoke? I can't even express in words how childish and stupid this line of thinking is.
The castle is defended against all enemies, now especially. How would I enter? Your twin serves there at the pleasure of the so-called queen. They will mistake you for him if you play the part.
Okay, I can see this plan working if House of the Dragon was a Looney Tunes skit, but there's just too many questions here. What if his twin had shaved? What if his twin got a haircut? What if Rhaenyra changed the uniforms of her guards? None of which will be relevant, of course, because the episode is determined to do a sister-sister, and by golly, it's gonna deliver.
Discount Jeremy makes 2 pop culture references that aren't sins of the episode cliche. Also, you sort of admitted that all of your questions were irrelevant given that none of those things happened, but you also suggested that that's a sin. Why? Is it unrealistic for a guy to not shave and not get a haircut? The answer is obviously no. As for Rhaenyra changing the uniforms of her guards, that has a more in-depth answer. Rhaenyra is claiming the Iron Throne, and she wants the realm to take her claim seriously. Changing the uniforms of her Queen's Guard would represent a breaking of Westerosi tradition, and create a separation between her and the one who currently occupies the throne. It's about appearances. Changing things away from their traditional appearance makes her claim look less legitimate in the eyes of others. Also, despite all of that, Criston is still making a bad decision here. But that's exactly the point. He's impulsive, that's part of his characterization, and it's not a mistake of the episode.
Do you remember of my uncle?
Part of me wishes they would use the person's actual name, but then I'd have to look up who that person is. So in a way, this is better. Her uncle could be anyone, which means I can pretend she's talking about someone fun, like... Not a single person in the show is fun.
That's a personal opinion, and given the track record and general dishonesty of TVSins, nobody who uses their brain gives a shit about TVSins' opinions. But also, you being too dumb to remember the characters in this show is not a mistake of the episode, it's a mistake of your pathetic memory.
Surely the city cannot yet be short of food.
Indeed not. The blockade has been in place for, what, a week? If your city runs out of food in a week, you've got bigger problems than a blockade. If it's been longer than a week, here's a sin for your unannounced time jumps making me look dumb again.
Trust me, you don't need any help to look dumb. Also, do you really expect the show to announce small leaps in time? Big ones, yes, that's what it did in Season 1, but this is a medieval society where people travel by foot or horse, or sometimes boat, so it takes a long time for things and people to move around. Keep up.
The king has promised us some relief.
He has a point, and one of the perks of the whole monarchy deal is that if the king ever breaks his promise, you only have to wait an entire lifetime to be able to do all about it.
The show is literally making the point that Hugh is misplacing his trust. How can you sin the show for something you agree with?
Do not be foolish, Alan. To serve with a sea snake is to make your fortune.
I don't know if that still holds true. Didn't the sea snake get thrown overboard and sink into a coma, almost dying last season? I'd be more clear on the details, but anything vaguely exciting insists on happening off-screen.
But neither can he allow it. Command him.
Pity. I have on occasion found that to be quite enjoyable.
Lord Corlys is now alluding to his sexual preferences, and please see previous sin about all the exciting stuff happening off-screen.
Me like excitement. Me no like character. Me no like talking. Me no like story. Me only like fight. And titties. Also, Discount Jeremy has a boner.
Said you carried his child.
Not everyone found the jest funny.
Stealing your jesting from old episodes of Archer.
Discount Jeremy makes it pop.
What's even worse than watching another person watching things? Watching that person watch a dragon do boring dragon stuff instead of the action we were promised.
Me no like... you know what? I think you get the point. Discount Jeremy doesn't know anything about storytelling or character development. He only wants to see people hitting each other with swords. From now on, for the rest of this season, anytime Discount Jeremy stupidly complains about the show having a story, I'm just gonna insert a random pop culture reference and give him 10 sins, starting now.
Are you not entertained?
Pretending to be his own twin. Brilliant.
Following something stupid with the word brilliant does not make it so.
And the episode is making this exact point through Otto Hightower, so once again you're sinning something you agree with.
Instead of judgment, you display impetuousness and diminish us in the eyes of our enemy, ill-considered, trifling.
Rhys Ifans continues to be one of the best parts of House of the Dragon, and this scene is nothing short of Shakespearean. And here's a preemptive sin for sidelining him.
Discount Jeremy sins something he likes cliche.
Dignity. I want revenge.
The war cry of the spicy bean burrito as it punches through my digestive tract.
Oh, shit.
The next 2 sins in a row are more examples of Discount Jeremy sinning things he agrees with.
Will regret this.
That line's meaningless in a show like this. Every episode has something horrible happen because someone f***ed up. The only people that feel anything at this point are the ones who know what's going to happen because they read the book. Everyone else is bored.
Considering how this show has an 8 on IMDb and an average rating of 82 on Rotten Tomatoes, this assertion Discount Jeremy just made is evidentially incorrect. You can dislike the show all you want, but the majority of people are clearly not bored.
I thought you were within. Sorry, lack of vigilance.
Just to be clear, not a single f***ing soul told these guards that Eric or whichever f***ing Rick works for Rhaenyra that there's an identical f***ing twin out there and that if he ever turns up where he shouldn't be, you should pay attention to that shit.
As much as I enjoy the fight between the brothers, there is some fortunate timing involved here. As for the part about the guards, they presumably are aware of the fact that Eric has a twin with the enemy, but that doesn't automatically mean they're expecting this ploy. I'm gonna call this one even and neither remove nor add any sins.
Believe me, I had no choice.
You had so many choices. You could have called Cole's bluff. You could have sailed to another city and started your life over. Maybe open a bar, become a medieval private pirate detective. I mean, that sounds f***ing epic. You could have even just turned yourself into Rhaenyra.
This entire sin is a perfect example of Discount Jeremy not understanding characterization. Eric is deeply concerned about his honor, and he received a direct order from his superior, so he's following it regardless of the fact that he doesn't agree with it. That's not a mistake of the episode, it's a mistake of the character within the episode.
Grace!
Your sovereign is under attack, and the best you can do is summon one guy in his jammies. If I'm the ruler and someone's trying to kill me in my bed, feel free to send all of the guards and even a couple of the cooks.
The serving girl ran directly to Laurent, who came directly to Rhaenyra's bedchamber. Think about it for a second, if that's even possible for you. If Laurent runs around gathering guards, then he's wasting precious time, and for all he knows, Rhaenyra could be dead by the time they arrive at her chamber.
Which is Eric?
Pulling a witch double is my double cliche. Kirk exhausted that one with his bullshit in the undiscovered country.
First, that's not a cliche, and second, Discount Jeremy makes a
Forgive me.
Changing the twins' death to a murder to further traumatize Rhaenyra, the audience, and probably George R.R. Martin. Also, the show really failed to drive home a deep understanding of how kinslaying is a massive taboo in these stories. When I read about it, my entire perspective of Eric's choice to fall on a sword makes more sense, so the sin, of course, is reading.
Thinking that reading is a sin? I guess Discount Jeremy really is a Republican. But he also made a valid point about the books doing a much better job of explaining the taboo surrounding kinslaying, so now I don't know what to do. How about this? I'll remove a sin, but if he says anything else Republican during the rest of this season, he gets an automatic 100 sins.
The High Towers still have strength, and you have a son there who'll take more kindly to instruction.
She does? There is another one? Please don't make me... who the f*** is Darren?
Once again, your stupidity does not count as a sin of the episode.
Allison f***ed Cole at the end of the episode. Cliché.
That's not a cliche.
Why is reverse cowgirl illegal in Alabama?
Why?
Because you can never turn your back on family.